kitty ears on straight. I don't want to look like an idiot in front of... Oh, hey! Hi! It's me, Wilma Fingerdoo, with that Fingerdoo review of RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars for Episode 9. And all I have to say is, Jorge, drink me! Ooh, look at this! It's a coffee cup. It says eat dessert first. You gave me coffee? Well, there's no coffee in that. That's Bailey's. Yummy. Thank you, Jorge. Okay. Well, I'm feeling it now. So, the queens said goodbye to Manila. And as sad as some of them were to see Manila go, most of them seemed very grateful to Naomi for getting rid of the competition. I'm so serious. Or maybe they were just distracted with how gorgeous she looked clean in that mirror. I'm so serious. But once her delicious facade fell away, she defended herself for her choice. She wanted to get rid of Manila. She wanted a clear shot at the crown. Good for her. Finally, somebody understands what they're all here for. The competition. $100,000. Don't be gagged by the goopery, is what I'm saying. Speaking of goopery, well, I think people were a little surprised that Monet had Manila's lipstick as well. I mean, not really, because she had, Manila had tried to kick Monet off a couple of episodes ago. But then there was that reconciliation in the workroom. I thought that Monet felt good about it. But then I remember what Monet said a few episodes ago as well, that she would have no trouble getting rid of any queen that she felt was competition. And of course she would, because Monet hasn't got what it takes to go up against the best. No offense to Monet. I am not saying she's not a good queen. She's a great queen. Not as great as Manila. Now that Manila's gone, maybe Monet has a shot at the crown. Just saying. Cheers to everyone. Which brings me to this. Would somebody please explain to me how Manila shaded Monet? Monet is still chewing on that old bone, thinking that Manila did her wrong. It's a competition, like I said. I don't understand why all of these girls aren't vying for each other and watching their back at every 3 minutes. They're too interested in making teams and alliances, which always bite them in the padded ass before it's all said and done. I'm so serious. I mean, Manila didn't seem happy to be sashaying away, but she wasn't a pill about it. Hell, she even put Naomi in her latest video, Go Fish, so clearly there's no hard feelings, and maybe if there are, she bounced her check for the video. I don't know. I wasn't there. I wasn't cast. But it was a good video. You should check it out on YouTube. Go Fish. The next day in the workroom, the queens took a moment to celebrate that they were the top 5 of season 4. I found it funny that Monique said that this was the top 5 that she envisioned. I'm wondering when she started envisioning this. Last week? Because at the beginning of the season, I would have thought that Manila and Valentina would have beat a couple of them out for top 5. Latrice! Possibly Naomi. I gotta get that fixed. But I do have to agree with Monique. It is super nice to see a highly melanated top 5. Because I know some of you on the socials have been saying that that All-Star Hall of Fame is looking pretty white up in there. And with Trinity being the last white girl standing, I think she better watch out for her white pumped up ass, is all I'm saying. Seriously. But before the white stereotypes could fly, there was Ru, in seersucker no less, to give the girls this week's challenge, which was to perform a Ru Hollywood story of Sex and the Kitty Girl 3, a Sex and the City parody. I already was on board for this. Seriously, Ru, good choice. Because Naomi won last week's lip sync, she got to assign the characters to the queens. And rightly so, she picked SJP for herself, probably because she's the youngest of the remaining queens and she's the most fashionable, so she felt that she had the most in common with her. Hey, gotta start somewhere. Monet and Trinity both wanted to play the Kim character, and it came down to rock, paper, scissors, because neither of them were gonna budge. I'm so serious. Now, I have to say out of the gate, I think I would have liked, because Trinity did get to do Caitlyn Jenner when she was up against Gia Gunn for it, and they fought. Trinity got that. Well, Trinity got it again. I think it would have been nice to see her do the Keijo character who fell out the window. Because she wasn't planning to do it, so I find in those kind of cases, people do better. I also would have liked to have seen how good Monet did the Kim Cattrall character, but ultimately, I think it would have been really super fun to see the 4 girls from Sex and the City reimagined as 4 queens of color. I think it would have certainly made for a more interesting brunch chat. I'm just saying. We might have to wait till All Stars 5 to say, a lot of Baileys in this. I'm just saying. I guess what I'm trying to say is that if Trinity wasn't watching her back before, she'd better look out for the ire of Monet. Now, seriously. Monique got Keijo, and because most of these girls were too young to have seen that episode of Sex and the City, that whole character remained a mystery to them. What was also a mystery was Monique's weird acting choices with the mouth and the shaking and all that. But then she went on to explain that her acting history involves church basements and school auditoriums. Oddly enough, church basements was my drag queen name in high school. So, once the roles were all doled out and the queens started rehearsing, it got super shady up in that workroom. I am so serious. They all seemed to enjoy far too much how badly each other was doing. Bless. And then it was time to hit the set and meet their director, Ross Mathews, who I thought was fabulous. He gave all the girls really super good advice, whether they took it or not. Naomi. And speaking of Naomi, I thought she said she'd seen every episode of Sex and the City, plus the movies. I don't think she was paying attention when she was. If she did, I think she was probably texting or playing Pokemon Go or something, because she was nothing like SJP. I think she would have done better as Charlotte, just saying. Speaking of, Monet seemed to be all caught up in enjoying Trinity failing as Kim in front of Ross, which may be the reason why she failed as well as Charlotte. I'm just saying. Truth be told, the way that whole taping was edited, none of those queens came off well. Seriously. And then it was back to the workroom for Elimination Day. Can I just ask, did anyone else notice how shady Naomi was being this whole entire episode? I mean, right then and there, she all but implied that Trinity was a hillbilly. But before, while they were rehearsing, she had said to Monique that she thought the Keijo character was perfect for her. Shady. Truth be told, most of the queens seemed to be sweating about their performances. Most. Monet and Naomi were having their own little mutual adoration society. They were either pumping each other up or they truly believed that they deserved awards for those performances. All I have to say is thank God Latrice was there to set them straight. That didn't stop Monet, of course, from saying that she felt that she would have done a better job than Trinity. See? The shade of it all, which continued when Monique said that she thought it would make good TV if Trinity got kicked off. She's not wrong, but I'm with Trinity. I hope it doesn't happen. We can't keep losing these powerhouses. What are we watching if they're all gone? I'm just saying. Then it was off to the runway, and hello, legs. Geez, Rue looked good again. How old is she? I'm so serious. Like 80? Speaking of old, beautiful women, Michelle looked tittylicious in that deep plunging neckline and her Selena glasses and long gloves. Somebody else who looked great without a deep plunging neckline, Felicity Huffman. She's so fabulous. And then, of course, Jason Wu was there to judge the girls and to help him. He had an angel on his shoulder. Or was it a devil? Oh, actually, no, it was just RuPaul's new doll, which Jason dressed. Professionally, I mean, as a designer, not like for kicks on a quiet afternoon in his bedroom. That's what I call Wednesdays. Trinity's runway was fabulous. I agree it was simple, but that didn't make it less gorgeous. And when you combine that with her spectacular performance as Kim, it was absolutely no surprise that she landed in the top 2. Sorry about it, Monet. Speaking of, what the hell was Monet thinking with that runway look? I'm so serious. I agree with Michelle. She looked like a pink mouse. Actually, what I really thought she looked like was what would happen if a Care Bear and a My Little Pony had a baby. An evil, crime against nature, baby. I'm so serious. Add to that her lackluster performance as Charlotte, and it was no surprise that she landed in the bottom this week. Seriously. Naomi's take on a modern cat lady was super fun, and I agree with Jason. It was fashion with a capital F. Unfortunately, what also got a capital F was her acting. I'm so serious. It seemed to me that she had arrived on set with some solid set-in-stone ideas of what she was going to do at certain points in the script, like Anna Wintour and Vogue, which are things SJP never did. And no matter how much Ross tried to direct her, he couldn't stop her from doing it. Something else no one could stop from happening was Naomi landing in the bottom. Monique looked good, eh? I mean, seriously, her face was right. That hat was everything. Of course, it was nothing without the boots, too. It was a spectacular runway for Monique. And when you combine that with her great performance as Keijo, it was no surprise that she landed in the top. Seriously, it was a good week for her to do it, too. I have to say, I thought Latrice looked super gorgeous as well. Well, from the waist up. No offense, but that lion head in her crotchal area of her dress, I didn't see it as a lion's head out of the gate. It just looks like some swirling mass on her pelvis. It actually made her pelvis look like a gaping maw, which is something I know about because gaping maw was my drag queen name in high school. I'm just saying. One thing I also want to say is that Latrice did an excellent job during this challenge. The judges all said so. She did a great job. And I think that any other week of All Stars 4, Latrice would have been safe. But because she wasn't in the top, she was in the bottom. And then it was off to the lounge so the queens could deliberate. And by deliberate, I mean throw each other under the bus. And by each other, I mean mostly Latrice. I'm so serious. I mean, I'm not surprised that Naomi and Monet both picked Latrice to go home because if you've been watching on the socials, Monet, Naomi, and Monique are the Ashleys. They're kind of like a tight little knit group. So you know for sure that neither one of them are going to pick either of them to go home, which leaves Latrice as the odd queen out. Now, speaking of odd queens out, what I also thought was interesting was Trinity. She seemed to be very, very pragmatic about how she was going to make her decision. It wasn't just going to be on the challenge and the report card, but also on the queen's bodywork and the queen as a whole. Are they going to represent the brand well? Which I thought was very smart of Trinity. So, as the queens returned to the stage for the lip sync, Trinity was the wild card. You knew that Monique had Latrice. She wasn't going to put Monet's lipstick in her titty. But Trinity, well, couldn't have anybody. Seriously. And speaking of the lip sync, it was a Janet Jackson lip sync, When I Think of You, which was super, super nice. It made me feel bad that I didn't get Ru anything. This was a super fun lip sync, and both the queens did very well. But I do have to say, I wish I liked Monique's outfit more. As she was taking bits of it off and doing her reveals, it just reminded me of pulling tissues out of a box. It wasn't the best, in my opinion. God bless her for trying. Trinity, on the other hand, totally upstaged Monique, not just by outperforming her, in my opinion, but also she seemed to get in front of her a lot and blocked the judges from seeing what the hell Monique was up to back there. Seriously. So it was no surprise at all that Trinity won the lip sync, but what was a bit of a shock, especially even for Ru, was that she picked Latrice to go home as well. And I just have to say, I'm so sorry to see Latrice go. Did she deserve to go? Yes. Did she deserve to go on this episode? No. But I have to say, I agree with the queens saying that she had already gone home, so you've got to work extra hard to not be in the bottom again so you don't have that happen a second time. Seriously. So Manila sashayed last week, Latrice sashayed this week. This competition literally just opened up for the 4 remaining queens. I'm so serious. It could be anybody's to take. We're just going to have to see how it all boils down next week during the finale. They will be sending 2 queens home and then crowning the queen of All Stars 4. And who do you think it should be? I think it should be Trinity. I'm just saying she's done the best. She's worked the hardest. But if one of those other queens can sideswipe her and knock her out, then in my opinion, they deserve the crown too. But all we can do is tune in next week to see how it all falls apart and gets built back up again. And then, once you're done, come on back. you and I can compare notes. Don't forget to like my video. Don't forget to subscribe. And don't forget to stay gorgeous, because it's easy to forget. Seriously. Till next week, miss me. Mwah. Seriously,